Okay. Hey y'all, my name's Kamari, and welcome back to BALM After Hours. I know it's been like a really long time since we've dropped one, but hey, we're back. We're better than ever. It's cool. I think we have some pretty nice stuff lined up for y'all. Um, do we want to go around and introduce ourselves?
We
Again,
can.
one time
We
for
Yeah.
can.
we got like a new face here, so yeah.
We can. My name's Kyla. My pronouns are she, her, hers, and I'm a junior. Like that's it.
What's
Um,
up? Go ahead, Wasila.
I'm Wasila. As he just said, my pronouns are also she, her, hers. And I'm also a junior.
What's up, y'all? I'm Andre. I am a sophomore. My pronouns are he, him, his. And so is the
Um,
next person.
yeah. Hi, my name is Zaraya. I am very glad to be here. This is my first time joining the podcast, so I'm super excited to talk to you guys and talk about everything. Yes, my pronouns are she, her, hers, and I am also a junior, so I'm really excited.
All right. Now that y'all kind of know everybody's names, let's get into good stuff. So, recently, Lil Nas X, my man, my husband, or it used to be until I found out. Anyways, that's besides the point.
Oh my
He
god.
dropped a song that he's been teasing for almost a year called Montero, Call Me by Your Name, and um, the music video put the girls in a frenzy. Put the girls in the front seat. So I kind of want to start off and try to get everybody's like, how do y'all feel about the video? How do y'all just when you watched it, what did y'all think?
I mean, I I am that was an out there video, but then again, it's Lil Nas X. I expect him to be outside of the box, and he's never really normal. Like I said on one occasion, the man is comfortable with being uncomfortable 100% of the time. So, I mean, it was an out there video. I mean, I don't really listen to his music like that, but yeah.
Um, I like to watch music videos. So I like to see how creative artists can actually get backing up his music. And when I seen the video, I was looking at it from like a cinematic point of view and trying to see like how the direction was really going. And I thought it was great. If you actually think about like how much imagination it takes for somebody to put a video together that was that elaborate, I was like, okay. And then I found out he had a lot to do with the actual direction. First of all, a lot of these other artists ain't doing that. Second off, I think he did a pretty good job, especially when you get into the backstory of all of it and how it works. It was a dope video. I mean, whether people agree with the message or not, we got to give him his props.
Yeah, I definitely agree. Like if you see any like Little Nas X video, they're all out there and out of the box and like so creative. So when I saw the video, I was like, wow, this is like really creative and it was interesting. And just like Andre said, like Lil Nas is like one of the biggest trolls on the freaking planet. So the fact that he was like using what haters said about him and putting it into his music video and rewriting it and like reclaiming it and then like making people mad was, that's artistry. That's how you're supposed to do it. And I enjoyed it. I thought it was really funny. I felt like people were mad just to be mad. So yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
didn't see any reason to be mad. That was
Yeah, I definitely thought it was interesting. Like I had heard snippets of the song and I had already liked it. It was already catchy. Like if we're talking about the musicality of the song, like I really liked it a lot. And when I watched the video, because everybody was like, well, not everybody, as if everybody as in Kamari was like, watch this video right now. So I'm like, okay, I gotta watch it. And I watched it. I kind of was like in shock like the whole time. It was so colorful and like Kyla said, I was looking from a cinematic aspect and it was so detailed and like she said, elaborate. So I was kind of like, this is like a really like an intense moment. Like it became like more of like an experience because there was so much going on. And then I really liked how he was the star of his own show.
and he had played so many different characters and played so many different roles in the video, and it was very interesting to see how he brought out different things and different characters, or whatever you want to call it, in the video. But it was definitely very colorful, very bright, very just unorthodox. I hadn't really seen anything like that, and it gave me like early Nicki Minaj vibes, because of her videos used to be very colorful, very just her playing different characters, the different color hair, and he was showing off some skills and talents he had. I mean, baby, he was working that pole. He was going down, and you could tell that he was really on the pole. So like it was really like interesting to watch. Like I said, it was a whole experience.
I think like outside of like it being like, you can't deny that the video was great. Like the direction, the attention to detail, like the fact that they had this man as a statue in the background, just the whole garden, from like the garden to like the trial where he's pleading his case to like the bowl drop to hell, like is outside of that, I think like it was a very big moment. Like my first time watching, I'm like, this is like very big, because I know that in a lot of people's household, I feel like in his household, not even in the household, but like in society in general, I guess people like to limit how feminine men can be. Pole dancing is definitely a very feminine thing to do. Um, just along with the wigs, like the hair, the lace, which was very late, very much late, by the way. Just all that, they like to limit that, and I feel like the way he embraced that, the way like the way that translated from the music video to the song, seamless, great, just overall magnifique. However, some people just did not feel the same way we did. Let's get into the backlash from conservatives, from the I don't even want to say Christians, but that's mainly who it is. I feel like there's also other religions who feel some type of way about this, but mainly Christians. That's mainly what I see. Um, just like out of the backlash, like what are like some very much like outlandish stuff that y'all seen or heard based on
Um,
somebody responding?
I will say, as a Christian myself, I just saw the video as a form of creativity. It was a really good video. I mean, I didn't know that it was so hyped up for that long. I will say that, but it was a pretty good video in my opinion. I don't know what these other Christians are talking about. Yeah, I enjoyed watching how creative this man was with the video. So yeah.
I think when I first seen it, I'm like, okay, because when I watched it, the video had came out in the morning. I didn't watch it until like 2 o'clock in the afternoon. So everybody had already been talking about it, and I got the same text from Kamari like, "Hey, go watch the video from the group chat." So I'm like, okay, let me go watch the video. Like I was gonna watch it, but now it's heat behind it. Let me go watch the video. So I go watch it, and I'm like, what? Well, I'm watching the video and I'm like, I mean, this is just a product of everything, the whole environment. I understood the message from the video like almost immediately. I'm like, okay, everything makes sense. Y'all told him this way he was gonna go if he did this, if he did that. But it's where he going. Like, I feel like it was more so about unapologetically being yourself and not caring about being yourself and not caring about the consequences of being who you are than it was whatever the internet or the media was trying to make it. And I feel like that's why he always responds to his artistry the way he does, because it's more so about being who he is than it is the message or the reputation that he want to hold to the public. So
Yeah, I definitely agree. I am a Muslim, and I'm also a relatively religious person. And just like Andre said, I didn't really see any problem with the video. People play with a lot of like biblical and biblical imagery and stuff in all kinds of art. And so I didn't really see a problem with it. I think he very much portrayed the message that he was trying to portray very well. These are the things that people were saying about him. Just like Kyla said, they told him that if he was going to be gay, he was going to go to hell. So he was like, all right, then I'm going to hell then. So I feel like he really showed that he simply does not care what people say about him or his sexuality at all. And I think that's very admirable, because be who you want to be regardless. Like if people like to project their religion onto other people, and not everybody is religious, not everybody thinks that God is real, and that's up to them. Like you can't force everybody to believe the same things that you believe. And there's one thing to like respect other people's opinions and respect other people's religions. But there was not really anything disrespectful about the video to me anyway. It was just him expressing himself. I know that I probably wouldn't do something like that, but that's me and that's him being him. So I don't think that people should like be mad about it because it's not affecting them. So
I think I don't think it's more so them. They like to play it as if it's not affecting them personally. They like to make the situation seem more dangerous. They make it seem like, oh, not my God. Like you're not mocking my God. Like, okay, that's your God, obviously not his. Chill. Or not even that, like trying to make it seem like, oh, this is not what we should be showing to kids. Like my kids will never listen to Old Town Road again, which is not his fault. His music, I'm pretty sure when he made Old Town Road, he did not intend for it to reach kids like that.
Exactly. That was not his demographic.
From what he's been saying, before that song blew up, he was in his sister's house. Or I think he had just recently got kicked out from his sister's house. So I'm pretty sure he was not expecting like, oh, let's make this song for the kids and it's gonna blow up.
Let's make a kids bop song. That was not the
exactly. That was not their intention.
Really, I don't think that was his. I don't think that was his intention. So I think people need to let go, just like artists in general. The content that they make is for them.
Right.
If I were to make music, I'm making music for me. I'm writing songs for me. I'm not writing songs so your kids can bop out to it in the car. Go to Coco Melon, go to Kids Bop.
Coco Melon.
Their target audience is kids. You monitor what your kids watch. That's not up to artists. They're just minding their business and do what they do. Simply.
Right. And as far as like religion goes into the topic, again, as a Christian myself, I know that my religion is about love and peace and acceptance of everyone, regardless of whatever. So like when I see people representing themselves as Christians and they're like bashing Lil Nas X for this video that he put out, like I said, it's none of my business what this man puts out. It's for him, like Kamari said. And again, it was a really good video. And if that's how he wants to express himself, let him do that. Just love him. Like that's I feel
like at the end of the day, he is a person first and foremost, and this is his occupation. This is a job. This is a check. I mean, if it's him doing something that he loves to do, and but despite all the negativity that has surrounded it, some of the main tags I've seen are about the creativity involved in the video, the dedication that went into it, the cinematic like aspect of it all. Like this is a craft. It is a craft to be an artist and to be musically, I don't know, just inclined in any way. And it was a visual. I mean, it's a video. So I think for people to be taking it, especially those who are mostly religious and they took it as an offense to their version of God, whatever that may be, or to their attack to their religion because of the use of Satan in the video. I think to take it that personal is to take everything that personal. I mean, you can argue that a lot of things that a lot of people say artist or not, or artist or just daily people, I don't know, anybody, anything that they say is an attack on a religion if it's not 100% for the Lord or for Jesus Christ or in honor of our Lord and Savior. You know, there's a lot of different religions and there's a lot of different spiritualities. Like people have, just because you believe in a God doesn't mean you're necessarily a Christian or necessarily that you are religious. You just have a spiritual connection to a higher being. And I think that the Christians specifically were taking it very personally, as if it was something to take personally. Like it wasn't an attack on anyone, in my opinion. I think we could all see that it wasn't an attack on anyone. It wasn't an attack on anyone's religion. If anything, it just was a clap back at those people who are majority religious that come down on him as an artist and as a person because of his truth, him living in his truth, him being the person that he is. And it was kind of like a mock, like, I'm going to do what I'm going to do and I'm going to be happy about it. And if that bothers you, then that's your business. But I'm not saying anything's wrong with your Christianity. But I think, like how Kamari was saying earlier, like they feel like it's an attack on them, but why take it that personal?
Speaking of people taking things personal, I'm glad. I think that's a good way to segue into this like next topic. Just the way that people process Satanism and like just from different people. Like Billie Eilish did not get this type of response when she said all the good girls go to hell. Like, no, she was not outright giving a lap dance to Satan, but like just the way Satanism is portrayed in the media, people definitely, they definitely react different ways to certain people. And I feel like we know those reasons, and let's talk about it.
I think, of course, that's true. It's very valid. I do think a lot of it has to do with like the idolization, there we go, of celebrities. People still expect celebrities to raise their kids, and we won't get anywhere before we like talk about that. But I do also feel like with Billie Eilish, first of all, the song starts, "My Lucifer is lonely." That is the opening line of the song. It's just as bad as Montero was. Like I don't think I've seen that video. Not since up here in Cap. I don't think I've seen the video to that song. But it's more so like Billie Eilish is a white artist. I mean, she make music. She make dark music. People have been considering her music very dark forever. Like she make really dark music, and she's been getting Grammy after Grammy for it. I'm not saying that she doesn't deserve those Grammys, but I am saying that like, why don't we hold these artists to the same standards? Because she did not get that same treatment, and she was underage when she made that song. When her song came out, she was what, 17? He's 21. Like, it's not, he can go in the liquor store and say, hey, I want the whole rack and buy it. Like, she wasn't even old enough legally to do anything. So I feel like, why, when a Black gay man slide down a pole, it's a problem. Like, I don't understand why she didn't get the same reaction to just about the same song. Like the song, Call Me By Your Name doesn't even have the same meaning. Like Billie Eilish stood up there and said for about 4 minutes, like, this where I'm at with it. But she didn't get the same crucifixion that they trying to give Lil Nas X. He not going, but still.
I think it's like really the same thing with like how you said the example of Billie Eilish. The same thing with like people getting all upset that Lil Nas released those Satan shoes, but Playboi Carti had a whole like Satan-based line of clothing to go with his album, and it was not the same backlash that was met with it. And obviously, the underlying thing is just because this is a Black gay man that everybody's up in arms about it. They like, I feel like in society and in the media, they like to nitpick at certain things to just mask the real reason why they are upset. which is the fact that this man is Black and gay. Like, that's just the whole thing.
And I also feel like, just to add on to that, I mean, Playboy Cardi, even if people feel like, well, Lil Nas X had a kid song, first of all, Old Town Road was not a kid song. He was talking about sipping lean and sleeping with multiple women at one time. Like, come on now. Even after that, Playboy Cardi had all us Millie rocking. I know I was about 12, Millie rocking on everybody's block. Woke up sounding like this. Can you like, he had everybody doing stuff like that, but he's not held to those same standards. Maybe Playboy Cardi, I mean, he does get in touch with his feminine side, right? But he's never announced that he was gay like Lil Nas X did. So people never gonna hold him to that same standard. And I don't think that's like right. I mean, it's not right. It's homophobic. We're gonna call it what it is. But like, why?
Yeah, I think that going back to like the Billie Eilish video thing, like Kyla, you said you might not have seen it, but just to paint a little picture, literally the video, like you said, the opening line is My Lucifer is Lonely. Before the opening line, is a visual of white clouds, basically insinuating that it's heaven, and her falling, a fallen angel falling from the sky and landing in the dirt, or what was it? Like an oil waste of some kind. It was black, and she was a white angel, and she got completely like just covered with this dark matter. And she proceeded to sing the song, and we know there's lines like My Lucifer is Lonely, she'll want the devil on her team. And I just started thinking about when you presented the question, Kamari, about why she didn't get that same like feedback. And I think the only thing I really heard about that video that was super controversial or anything was that it was about like global warming or like oil spills and something like that. And I just was like, what? Like, we all know, well, I don't know, but everybody should know I'm the biggest Billie Eilish fan. I literally have 2 posters of her right there on my door, on my wall. But still, like, when the video came out, it raised questions. So to hear that Lil Nas X got backlash for a video that was, like you said, the words of the song weren't even as direct as Billie's were, was kind of infuriating, because I mean, we all know why, but like, why? As like a teen young woman who she was, like, it doesn't really correlate. Like, it doesn't make sense, and it's not fair, because even though he is grown, he is still a young man, and he's a person, like, at the end of the day. So for him to be receiving so much hate on his creativity and for her creativity, because it was an amazing song and an amazing video, but be praised for it, it's very weird.
I feel like, as a Black gay male, I feel like I can't even say a Black queer person, because let's be honest, being a masculine female is not as a masculine Black female is not as bad as being a feminine gay man. Let's just be honest. People,
I mean, we're not comparing oppressions, but I do see where you're going.
yeah, like, let's just be honest. People are gonna call out a gay man before they do a gay woman, because obviously that's where fetishes and stuff kick in. But that's another conversation. Just thinking about like how hard it is. Like, you literally just cannot win. You cannot win, even with the show Lucifer. They have shows like I said, Lucifer, Supernatural. They don't say nothing. Why? Because what? They're white men. They're hot white men. Is that what this is? Is that? It's just, it makes me feel very uncomfortable, I guess. It doesn't make me feel I mean, I'm not comfortable regardless, but like, it doesn't make me feel any more comfortable knowing that, at least if I were to one day want to make music, or like creatively direct for a Black queer person or a Black queer man, that I'm just gonna receive that type of energy.
Yeah, it's kind of like it's a cap on your creativeness, and as like you said, as a Black queer person, it's a cap on what you can and do. You can and cannot do just because of who you are. Like, you won't be able to express yourself creatively or do the same things, or at least quote unquote get away with the same things that other people can, or other people have gotten away with because they are white or not queer, or whatever the other advantage may be that they have over you as a Black queer person. I think that in itself is something that a lot of people recognize, but a lot of people don't talk about, especially in the music and TV and movie industry. Like you brought up Supernatural and Lucifer. Literally, the show is about Lucifer, and he's painted in the most positive light as a person. I mean, me personally, I watched the show and I really like the show, and I will literally be watching it and I'm like, I need to stop liking this man like he's not portraying the devil, like the literal devil. I mean, everybody has their own views and perspectives about who the devil is and what role he plays in the world, but I completely agree with that. It's just like, if that was a Black man, I don't know, it would have been canceled after season 1. It probably wouldn't even made it after the pilot, honestly.
I want to bring something up real quick. I seen an Instagram post earlier on Aaron Career's Instagram, and she was basically, it's a story post, so it ain't gonna be here for too long, but she was basically saying like, if you have a problem with the video, you more so have a problem with Lil Nas X being gay than the video, because there's been stuff like this for forever. And it's not, I don't think with this situation, it's really a race thing. It's definitely more homophobia than it is Black and white with this situation. Like many things, it is usually race, but this is not one of them. One of the examples that she gave was Tupac and Hail Mary, things like that. Like she started bringing up the fact that it was just horrorcore rap, and I'm not sure if many people know what that is, but it's like horror, like horrific rap, like when you're talking about stuff that nobody wants to talk about and trying to like glamorize it in the light that like doesn't need to be glamorized. She brought up Tyler the Creator. Much of Tyler the Creator's music before Flower Boy was stuff that people would listen to. Like, did he just say that? And what people don't understand is many people have like gained so much in their career from making stuff like this. Like Tyler the Creator's sexuality has always been something that was questioned by people. I mean, he's come out, but no one's ever like really taking him serious. You know what I'm saying? Which is another conversation in a whole nother light. But Tyler the Creator did make music that was kind of like, why would he just say that about topics that shouldn't have been talked about in the ways that they were talked about? So why when Lil Nas X does it in 2021, when all of these other people have done it for years, Tupac with Hail Mary, you know what I'm saying? All these other people have done it for years, maybe not about the same topics, but about things that were as equally as important in other people's lives. Why is it so detrimental to him? It's because he's gay. Like there's literally nothing else about it. It's because he's gay and he's not taking the clapback. Lil Nas X is on every social media site right now, like literally in this moment, laughing at the comments of the people who are really bothered. Like that's why people are bothered about what's going on. It has nothing to do with anything else.
I agree. I don't think I could have said it better myself. Who did you say that was?
Who what?
The Instagram post.
Oh, it was Aaron Career. It's like ERIN, but it's the A in front. So I actually should have. It's AERIN and then CREER. But it's a story post. So like if you want to go see it, you should probably go see it right now. Should I screenshot it so we can include it?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
But okay. All right. So I think now would be a good time to talk about parental monitoring in because this is beyond the Lil Nas X video. You know, this had a lot to do with it, but like just how parents monitor what art or entertainment their kids consume. There are ways you can do that. There are ways. We're not going to act like you can't. My sister has not mentioned the Lil Nas X video to me at all. Like she has not said anything. I feel like if she saw it, she definitely would have came up to me and asked me about it. Hadn't said a thing. So I don't know, just like on Twitter, let's use Candace Owens as an example. She was talking to Cardi B a couple weeks ago, I believe. Um, this has been going on. They've been going back and forth for like months. I don't know what that is. Is it a love hate relationship? I don't know. But just Candace trying to call out Cardi B for not allowing Culture to listen to WAP. Like there was this video of Cardi B. She was on live and she was playing WAP. And when Culture had came in behind her and she noticed, she was like, no, 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 no. And she stopped the music. Candace tried to call her out like, oh, why do you make this kind of music if you don't even let your own children listen to it? What do
Because she
you
didn't
mean?
make it for her kids.
Obviously, what?
I feel like with stuff like that, I don't know, like when y'all was younger, if y'all experienced this too, but it was certain songs that I just couldn't sing. Like it was a very known thing. Like this is not for you. We changing the station. You're not old enough for this. I don't understand why. Like I don't have any kids, so I'm not gonna say like I don't understand why parents. You know what I'm saying? I'm not a parent. So I'm not gonna say it from that point of view, but I am gonna say like what my parents made a thing. Like she said, just the same talk to you about the Montero video because she hasn't seen it. Like when I was younger, I probably wouldn't have seen it either. That's just the kind of time my parents was on. Like what? No, because it's a time and a place for everything. Not even just a time and a place for everything, but you gotta put age restrictions on stuff before your kids be. We all know what like exposure to too much is. You know what I'm saying? What that looks like and how harmful that is just for kids growing up because we all are on social media. We know what like you seen too much when you was little looks like. So I just feel like for people to be expecting that's the same thing as like why aren't there children in clubs? It's not for kids. Like that's not why we have these. That doesn't make sense to me. I never understand why people like try to bring up that argument.
No,
And I think definitely
I go to a club.
I definitely think that like just like you said, Kyla, there were like my parents were very strict on the things that I was able to view at certain ages. And so like when it came to like TV shows, they would always ask me like what's the rating on the TV show? Are you allowed to watch that? Like they would have restrictions, like I wasn't allowed to watch Family Guy, I wasn't allowed to watch American Dad, like all those shows, they weren't for me at a specific age. And I feel like there's one thing to like restrict your kids where you could be like, well, this you can't watch this because it's bad for you or it's not for children. And I feel like you as a child sometimes can understand that and be like, okay, then I'll watch it later, like as I'm older. And then there's also like understanding like if your child is exposed to that, you are open and honest with your child and be like, this is what this is about and this is why we're not comfortable with you watching it. Like just having that open communication with your child to understand like sometimes I mean just with like the internet and social media and things like that, kids are going to see something that they're not supposed to see. And it's very much inevitable. But if that does happen, then obviously you have to take that precaution and you have to take that initiative to like tell them like this is why or explain to them what this is, and just to make sure that they're not going behind your back to see something that they're not supposed to view, which very much happens majority of the time. Like if somebody tells you like, oh, you shouldn't watch this because it's bad for you, kids are going to go around and be like, oh well, now I want to see it because I'm not allowed to, you know, like that one Black Mirror episode, Archangel, I think that's what it's called. Yeah,
I've had a very like I don't want to say opposite, but like kind of different experience. Like as a child, my mom and dad, with the exception of like Family Guy, American Dad, and then like Bad Girls Club, like I pretty much could watch everything else and I could listen to whatever, because whatever my mom and my dad were listening to, I was also listening to. Like, you know how you have those times where you like, you hear an old song and you like, no, no, no. And you like, man, I should not have been singing this when I was little, or I'd have had no business singing this. Like, we've all had those times. I've kind of never even had that time because I was just like, this is just normal to me. And there were certain things like, for instance, like the He Could Be the One song from Hannah Montana. Like my mom didn't want us singing that because it had the word shut up in it. So it was like weird things that we could not do. But for the most part, like I would hear like a lot of people always say how they couldn't watch certain things or they couldn't listen to certain music. But me, my dad had movie nights and we would watch like Saw and really weird, scary, gory horror movies. And my mom will always be playing Mary J. Blige and all the wrong people that people think they shouldn't or as children should or shouldn't listen to. But as far as like the idea of parents censoring that, there's definitely like there's kids Netflix profiles, there's YouTube where you can lock your phone on a kid's YouTube. There's if you're logged into YouTube on a school computer and you're logged, or not even if you're logged in with your CPS email and you look up certain things on YouTube, it'll be filtered. They won't show certain videos or certain movies or anything like that. Right. So, I mean, those are manual things that you don't even have to set up. So for parents to try to blame the artist or the, I don't know, the creative director, the real director, it doesn't matter. Like for people to post blame on the creative in this situation is completely insane to me, because there's so many precautions that you could take as a parent and that devices and technology take for you, that you really have no argument, and you can't blame those people because you're taking away from their creativity and their craft as a person. And if that was the case, you could find a problem with literally anything, any song, any movie, any TV show, any poetry piece. It literally doesn't matter. You could find something wrong or something sensitive, something that children shouldn't see in literally anything. So if you really wanted to, like parents really wanted to stop their kids from seeing any and everything, the whole world would shut down. We wouldn't have any creative art or anything like that out here. So I think that that argument is kind of loose and you can't really support it that heavily, because if you were to do that, it would take away from everything, any type of artistic perspective, like, or like view or anything like that.
Yeah, I agree. Just like what I was going back to what I was saying before, and also what Kyla was saying, like these people, these entertainers are not your children's parents. They did not have them. They did not. They are not foster parents. They did not adopt your children. Your children are not their responsibility. So I just feel like hold yourself accountable. Like if you know that this is something that you honestly don't want your children seeing, take the certain steps to make sure that they don't see them. Don't take it to Twitter or the Shade Room or anywhere else, Facebook, to claim, oh, he's running these kids' minds or she's running these kids' minds. They shouldn't be seeing this. That's your fault. You're not making sure they're not seeing it.
Yeah, no, and I definitely. Oh, you're done, or?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I completely agree. It's extremely doable. As a kid, I'm pretty much the exact opposite of Zariah, and I think that is the word I'm gonna use, because my parents were on lock and key with most stuff. Like I couldn't even watch SpongeBob. Like I was under lock and key with most stuff. Yeah, no. But yeah, it's just completely doable. And like Kamari said, most parents have to hold themselves accountable, and just, accept that you have to put in the steps if you don't want to let your kids watch certain things that that are bad for them or that you view as bad for them, so yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, I think we're going to end her there. It was nice. It's nice talking to y'all again.
As always.
After
Yeah.
hours. And we'll just see y'all next week, I hope.
Bye-bye.
Bye.